Paytm. Paytm has finally got a UPI nod to continue as a third-party application provider. UPI services therefore will continue after today, which is March 15th, a very crucial, important deadline of March 15th. This was the deadline that RBI had set to shut down its payments bank operations. However, Paytm is likely to continue as a UPI service. It's gotten a nod from NPCI.
You're right. So I think a very crucial date, 15th of March, on multiple counts, but of course one of them being Paytm Payments Bank itself. Now, the order which the RBI had issued on the 31st of Jan initially had the deadline of 29th of February, and then in a review that was incidentally pushed by 15 days to 15th of March. So as we stand here on 15th of March, there are no fundamental changes in the operations of Paytm Payments Bank, which were proposed or rather ordered by RBI on the 31st of Jan. So RBI has not relented on any of those restrictions which were imposed. But I think what has come as a positive surprise in this whole move has been the fact that Paytm has been given the nod by NPCI, the National Payments Corporation of India, to work as a third-party application provider, TPAP, which essentially means that the Paytm app can be used to make UPI transactions. Now, this was always something that Vijay Shekhar Sharma had said, that even after 15th of March, you will be able to continue using most of the services on the Paytm app, and UPI being one critical user interface driven everyday interaction touch point for customers. So there's going to be no change in the way UPI transactions can be carried out even after today. The difference, however, is at the back end. So all UPI was earlier enabled by the Paytm Payments Bank, and now it's not going to be the Paytm Payments Bank, but rather Yes Bank as the default bank, which is going to enable all UPI transactions from one party to another. Having said that, I think there was another piece of good news which came yesterday by way of the handle at Paytm, the UPI handle at Paytm. There's going to be no change to that as well. So this essentially means that the vendors or the merchants who are receiving QR code based scan and pay payments from customers and who happen to use a Paytm QR code either on a sound box or on those plastic tent cards or stickers, as the case may be, they don't really have to rip those old stickers off and paste new ones. So customers can continue scanning those same old Paytm QR codes, except that the money in the case of merchants is not going to hit their Paytm Payments Bank account, because starting today they cannot receive payments into any Paytm Payment Bank saving account. However, there are 4 other banks which have come into the fray, including Yes Bank, Axis Bank, HDFC Bank and SBI, which will end up receiving the payments on the same QR codes.
Right.
And there's going to be no change in the handles of merchants, and it can still be a phone number at the rate Paytm, for example, as the UPI addresses go.
All right. So while Paytm UPI will continue, what happens to Paytm Payments Bank after today? The operations will cease after today. Today is the deadline post which you cannot credit money into Paytm Payments Bank. You can continue to withdraw if you have money. You can continue to exhaust that balance of your wallet balance as well as your FASTag balance after today, but no further credit will be allowed.
That's right.
Operations in a way will cease to exist for Payments Bank.
I mean, I wouldn't really venture out to say they will cease to exist, but yeah, there are obviously great restrictions which come into play from the 15th of March, which is today. So one of them being, obviously, like you mentioned, you will not be able to receive any credit in a Paytm Payments Bank account, which means if there is somebody who has a salary account, or there is a domestic help that you pay salaries to every month using a Paytm Payment Bank being the beneficiary account in which the money is credited, that cannot happen starting tomorrow. So 15th March being the deadline, starting 16th March, no money can go into a Paytm Payments Bank account. But that's not all. You will not be able to top up your Paytm wallet, which is also, while the interface is the Paytm app or a super app as it was once touted to be, the beneficiary of the Paytm wallet is the Paytm Payments Bank account. So Paytm wallets cannot be topped up, fast cards cannot be, FASTags cannot be topped up, and your Metro cards, etc. cannot be topped up. However, like you mentioned, there is obviously, if you have balance left in your FASTag or in your wallet, you can continue to use that until that completely dries up and depletes to a value of 0.
But what happens thereafter, we don't know.
So we don't know. I mean, RBI has not officially cancelled the payment bank license owned by 197 Communication, but RBI has also not minced its words by saying that if you have a Paytm linked FASTag, or if you have a Paytm wallet, you will be better off porting to another service provider.
Right.
And in fact, a lot of customers have done that already. Many are still scrambling to do it. And incidentally, new players and some existing players are now emerging, trying to grab this vacant spot left by Paytm, which was once commanding about a quarter of India's overall, FASTags. And not just FASTag, I think even in the UPI services, we've seen reports emerge that Google Pay and PhonePe both have taken a large share of Paytm's UPI transaction business. Right. And another interesting player which has emerged recently in the FASTag space is Park Plus. So Park Plus is now touted to be the winner in this overall Paytm's losing saga, where Park Plus comes and has started offering, home delivery, easy KYC, etc. of FASTags. So a lot of changes in the overall fintech ecosystem by way of Paytm, a large fintech player, now unlikely to remain a large fintech player when it comes to services like wallet and FASTag and Metro cards, etc. Right. But yeah, I think the next logical step would perhaps be for the RBI to come and give direction into whether there is any hope of Paytm Payments Bank ever coming back in some form or the other, or is it going to lead to a final termination, cancellation of the license. So
still
that is
have the
something which we still
license,
don't know.
whether the license is not going to be any use from tomorrow onward. But, just yesterday we were also discussing how Paytm will downsize. Paytm Payments Bank, in fact, will downsize. Will also, since the operations will cease from today, we are also looking at job cuts there as far as the Paytm Payments Bank, the banking arm and operation of Paytm is concerned. So those news items also continue to be...
let's face it, Paytm Payments Bank was pretty much the most significant revenue driver for 197 communication, and all other services, whether it is UPI. So for example, right now there is no charge on UPI, and UPI continues to be a free service. So even with this third-party application provider license given to Paytm, the fintech app, the fintech player, not the Paytm Payments Bank, which is in trouble, you don't really see a revenue line open up. In fact, the only revenue line which was there, and even the lending business which was giving some dividends to Paytm Payments Bank, is now obviously, not going to continue. So where does Paytm make money going forward is the existential question that Paytm needs to answer for itself, for its shareholders and for its employees. And unfortunately, until those concrete answers are found, cost cutting is a very, very logical next step for Paytm. And that is what we are perhaps seeing by way of, whatever reports which are circulating, I think some confirmations also which you've received, that there is going to be some downsizing in the Paytm Payments Bank division. All
right. So as far as Paytm Payments Bank is concerned, from tomorrow onward, they will partially at least cease operations. They cannot get any further credit. None of the Paytm Payments Bank user will be able to either credit their wallets or allied services, which include FASTags, mobility cards. But it's a crucial day for Paytm because it's finally got its UPI TPAP license, post which it will continue using, or you can continue using, Paytm UPI. That is not going to go away. Good news there for Paytm, at least for now. But Vijay Shekhar Sharma has a tough road ahead.